Hey guys, before we get into the regular episode, just wanted to give you a heads up. We did have some technical issues with this episode. A lot of Los Angeles lost power, and we did lose Laura for a little while. And when we got her back, she was on a phone call, so you might notice some sound quality issues, and we apologize for that. But please enjoy the wild story that you're about to hear. Hey everybody, I'm Katie Arroyo.
And I'm Laura Manasowich.
And this is Pinky Promise with hand thrusts.
You know,
I
like to jazz it up.
Yeah, that was a real Power Rangers moment that we just had there.
Thank you.
I like it. We have really special guest with us this week. One of my favorite comedians. He's super, super funny. We have Corey Rodrigues. Hey, Corey.
Yo, what's up? What's up, everybody?
Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
I'm glad to be here. Excited to be here.
We were talking with Corey, and we knew we wanted him to come on, and we were like, what do you have anything from childhood that you want to talk about? And Corey's like, yeah. He's like, I'll come up with, we like to send people a list of like 1,500 topics that they can choose from, and every single male comic has just been like, I don't know, do you have something you want me to talk about? And every female comic has been like, one time my cat chewed one of my socks, and I felt like it made me look like a pretty person for the first time in my life, and I felt like it made me feel like I had my first close friend. I'd love to talk about that. I have 16 journal entries that I could read you.
Yeah. I've processed my trauma, and now I'm ready for your podcast.
So I think we settled on talking about young love. Yeah, which Laura and I have talked about this on the podcast a little bit. We like to brush over it by just saying that we were like militant women who were just like, we hated all guys that we went to school with and secretly had crushes on them, but didn't talk to any of them. Does that about sum it up, Laura?
Today I was like, why don't you prepare yourself with something that actually happened to you instead of your normal gloss over? And I realized the first time I told a boyfriend I loved him was wrapped around the toilet on my 21st birthday. And I was so enamored that he was like taking care of me that I just like pointed at him and said, I love you. And I scared the shit out of him. So that was my first time saying the words to someone.
So you never and like we can speak freely here, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And freely. So in none of your young infatuations, like 8th grade, 9th grade, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, there was never any of that like awkward I love yous?
I think I was so like, I don't think I got the opportunity.
I have a cat, by the way. I'm sorry.
We're here for it.
We're here for cat content.
She saunters back and forth through when she knows that she wants to start talking. She just starts going back and forth.
I love it.
It's her home. We want her to be comfortable.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm like in that stuff. I mean, there's like, dozens of journal pages about who I loved and why it was so important. But I don't think I ever like had the confidence to say that to someone because I was like fairly certain it wasn't going to come back. So I was like, well, probably I'll just never, I'll just keep it to myself forever.
Did any boys though, like, and I'm asking these questions because I'm going to get to this, but like, yeah. I really dissect a lot of this stuff because, I just know it was in my head. I know it was in friends' heads, and I know where people are uncomfortable. A lot of people are uncomfortable, and a lot of people are too uncomfortable to share how they really felt, and like, meaning like even at those times, like to expose yourself in such a way,
Mm-hmm.
Like the little hoeiness in you, or the prudiness in you, and the wannabe hoeiness in you. And I'm talking about that's male and female.
Yeah.
Like, all of that stuff is very embarrassing for people, so they act weird about it. But it's like at a certain point, it's liberating to just be like, nah, that's what the fuck I did. That's who I was. Like, that's what I did. That's what I was about. Like, whatever. So when I asked that question of like, did you ever like, sometimes there's just a guy who because I truly believe there's someone for everyone, and there's someone who just wants to hook up with everyone, and there's always people to hook up with. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the case is, no matter if you were a chunkster when you were little, no matter if you were skinny mini when you were little, somebody wants that ass. Like, and somebody wants that little fat dude stick too. Same thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, and even if they don't want to play with them, because when you're young like that, when you're in 8th grade, 9th grade, whatever, girls aren't like, I want that dick. Like, it's different. They just, it's more like the little hookup, the whatever. The peer pressure will lead you to like squeezing some dick, but like it's not like. I don't think girls at that age are seeking, and you're women, so you know better than me, but I don't think they're seeking out the dick like that until you get a little older. So it's like around that age, it's more just like, oh yeah, I have somebody, I have a boyfriend, we hook up, yes, you get fingered a little bit, things like that happen, but it's not like you're just like, I can't wait to get that dick in my hands. Like, that's like, it's just different. You know what I mean?
Our thing would have been like, I can't wait to start dating, fall in love, lose virginity at an appropriate time, and then get married.
Yeah, I think it felt like there was a while where it was like more about like checking the boxes than like it was like I have to keep up. Like, so if I'm going to be like socially relevant, I gotta French kiss somebody fucking quick, and it wasn't like there was more concern about doing that thing than there was about like whose mouth it was in. Like, that was also important, but it was like sort of secondary to like being able to say this is a thing I've done. And then I think ideally as you get older, that the person attached becomes more important.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, for sure. And so going back to that question, you never really, so there was never a guy back then who, because we are very we are incapable of expressing our emotions at that age, especially guys, right? Yeah. And I know girls too, you're not exempt from that, but especially guys, we will say we love everything, but we just really like you, or we're infatuated with the situation. We're infatuated that somebody's paying enough attention to us to play with us or to touch us in those ways that no one else should be touching you. And, as you're going through 8th grade, 9th grade, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, when you do those little hookups and getting to squeeze some titties and like someone's like, I like you too. And they're kissing, like, big deal, rolling into 9th grade, rolling into 10th grade, going through those ages, that range right there, like, 12, 13 to 16-ish, that's some crazy shit in there. Because packed in there's a lot of emotion that you don't know how to handle. Like, girls are pretty at, even though you're like, yuck and whatever, like, they're pretty in 5th grade. You know what I mean? You're like, oh man, she has big boobs. Like, it's awkward. You don't know what to do. So you just tease them.
You just know you like it.
Complex for the rest of their life. Because you don't know in 5th grade what to do. You know what I mean? You're like, dude, she has boobs. Oh,
you're like, I'm just going to ruin her life.
I'm like, you don't know, like, you don't know as a little baby. You're just like, oh, it's a big deal. And then by 7th grade, you're like, yo, I'm dating her. Like, 8th grade is different, So it's just.
I feel like probably from like 13 to 18, there were absolutely people who my world revolved around, but I never could say that. I could tell a friend, but to tell that person, I'd die. I'd absolutely die.
I have never said I love you first to this day. So like the people that can do it, I'm like, show me your ways. Like, and I feel like, what's funny is, Corey, you were talking about like people owning their shit. I'll own literally every single thing except for a feeling. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I did that. Yeah, I made out with like 3 different people in this one bar. What are you going to do about it? And then if they were like, do you have feelings? I'd be like, I don't know. Maybe. I gotta go. Make out with 3 more people. Bye.
You know how funny I am?
Okay. That's funny. I think what's weird about the I love you thing for me is it's never been an issue, because to me it's like, that's like movie shit. Like meaning if I was going to say I love you to someone, there's not like a question. I never felt weird. Like, should I say it? I never had that angst of being like,
that's
if I
so
say
great.
Well, because here's what I thought. Here's what I always thought. And I'm still probably like this to this day. Like, if I'm feeling like, I think the signs are there. If if we're hanging out and we're doing things to each other and spending time together and whatever, I'm not like, I wonder what this is. Like, I'm not in a wonder what this is position. It's like, okay, I probably should have said this by now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all right, I love you. And then at the same time, I never felt I think I always felt, and this is weird to say, but like I felt like if it was met with much opposition, I'd be like, all right, well, cool, then well, fuck it. Like, okay. Like,
No, I
if
think that's
if
right.
that's how it is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I said that to you and you don't care, okay, then fuck it then. And I know what you are to me. Then we don't mean what I thought we meant to each other. So that's also a relief. It's weird, but it's like both of them are like, okay. There's like both of them are like a weight off my shoulder.
I understand that after part. Like, I'm like, that is so great, and I love that goal. But then I'm like, that's a big wall to climb over to get to that goal.
So scary, but that's been my adult shift is like, listen, you can make yourself insane about this, or like you could say what you feel to this person, because if they feel it back, you've gotten what you wanted. But if they don't, then like you don't have to, then there's someone out there who does feel that way or does want that with you, and like why do you want that from someone who doesn't want it back?
That's right.
You're a sensitive lady, and that'll just make you cry.
That's right. That's right. And there's never a secret. I mean, the movie is built for it. He's not that into you, right?
Yeah.
You could have talked to many of your guy friends who would tell you all the same shit from the movie. If you watch that with a guy, a lot of the guys will be laughing at the parts in there because they're like, yeah, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Like the thing is, I have like a lot of like girlfriends, like female friends. It's weird as a guy when I say I have girlfriends, but I mean they're women that are friends, all right? Not like I'm playing out here, baby.
You're like, I say I love you to everyone.
Yeah, you know what I mean? What's the clean way for a guy to say that? Like, I have lady friends, female friends.
I think lady friend sounds like you're making out.
That sounds like
out.
Right,
so girlfriend sounds
female
shady
friends?
Too.
I don't know.
I have friends who are women.
But you get it. Now that we've explained it, you get what I'm saying. They've said
Corey knows ladies, all right?
Yeah, right. And they'll be like, why, you know, how do I know if this guy likes me, or why if he doesn't call back and I called him at like, you know, the whole games that we play.
Yeah.
You know, I called him. Is it too soon to call? Is what? All that shit is bullshit. If the person likes you, call them the next day. You don't have to wait till the next night because you met them the night before.
Yeah.
If the person is digging you, they're digging you. If they're not, they're not. You don't have to play this, wait it out and whatever, and don't like too many of their pictures. Yeah, of course. You don't want to go through and like all of everybody's, but you look thirsty at that point. So you don't want to do that. You want to be smart enough to not do that. But at the same time, like, you don't want to be super evasive to the point where it's just like, oh, I'm just going to pretend I don't give a shit and I'll wait for them to call. It's like, fucking reach out and get it over with. I used to think that I think the biggest pressure I would feel as a young dude, like in dating situations, is when you do break up or when you're not sure what you are, is when you're not sure what you are. When you're waiting for like if you think like you got in an argument and you're like, oh, you don't know if they're gonna call or like, are we broken up or are we not? Like what are we? That land of like, what is this? That is some awkward shit.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if you should move on and start talking to someone else. You don't know if you're supposed to just wait it out. You don't know if, you know, you gotta call them back. That does get awkward. Mm-hmm. It's like, what are we? Like, you know, you talk to someone and they're like, that's it. I don't want this anymore. You know, okay, I don't want it anymore either. And then it's like, are we broken up?
Yeah, and you have to call back and be like, are we going to talk tomorrow?
Are we talking tomorrow? Is this like forever?
You don't want any more right now?
Yeah, that's when you start doubling up all your words. Are we broken up? Or is this
exactly.
Be real clear.
That used to be the most pressure that you would feel. You know?
I think that still is the worst. I think I never really had a problem understanding if someone was into me or not, but I would have a problem like accepting it. Like I would be like, I know they're not into me now, but like maybe they'll come around or something. Or I'd be like, I know they're into me, and I'd be like, I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with these feelings.
Yeah. Now that right there, what you just said is something specific that I just dealt with a friend, and she was like, she's telling me about some dude, and she's like, you know, I don't think she phrased it something like, I don't, you know, right now he's just telling me I'm too much for him. But she's like, I think he'll come around. So should I still hit him up? You know, it was like around New Year's Eve or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, should I still hit him up for New Year's Eve to try to hang out? And I'm like, listen, you're trying way too hard. If this fucking dude likes you, he's gonna make it easy. Like, he's not gonna keep pushing you away. And then she's like, yeah, but I know I can make him come around. I'm like, do you want to be with somebody that you have to make come around? That's the thing. If you have to make somebody come around, you're in the palm of their hand.
You're like street cats come around. Yeah.
You're in a bad position.
Yeah. I want someone who wants me more than just because I leave tuna outside.
There you go. Exactly. And if you put yourself in that position, you're fucked. Because that person, you know, if they're not a great person and they don't tell you that you're compromising yourself too much, then you're just so vulnerable and you're just eating out of their hand and you're trying to tiptoe on eggshells. And meanwhile, they're like, I fucking came home when I wanted to come home. I don't give a shit. I called you when I wanted to call you. Then the power dynamic of that relationship is all off because you chase too hard.
Yeah.
You know?
I used to like sort people into the two categories where I will hurt you or you will hurt me. And if it's I will hurt you, then I was like, I want no part of this. But if you're going to wreck my life in an undetermined amount of time, let's go. I'm all the way
I was like, I have the power. Perfect.
No, man. If I knew that like I'm going to break your heart, I was like, well, I can't. I feel too bad. But you're going to be a monster to me. I love you. Like,
it's probably too easy for you, Laura, when you are thinking about it. Like, knowing that you have the potential to hurt that person, it's almost like, no, I don't want someone that I already dominated. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's almost
I've been told by mental health professionals that's not a great way to judge potential partners. And I've adjusted. It's fine.
I don't know. I think early on, I hit puberty early. I had like pubes before my friends. You know what I mean? Like being like 5th grade, 4th grade. Like,
you were crushing it.
Yeah, but I'd be in like 4th grade, like showing like my friends. I'd be like, I got you pubes. You know what I mean? So like, I was wearing deodorant.
I'd be doing the same thing, but I'd be like, I have hairy legs.
Yeah. If we go way back to the body air episode, it was, I don't want pubes.
That's so funny. That's the shit. There's a little dude like around.
Yeah,
like,
guys are like, yes.
We were like showing each other. Like, I was one of the earliest ones that had armpit hair. So I was like, yo, we have 4 little Homer Simpson hairs coming out of your armpit.
And I was like, yo.
Yeah. Everyone's so excited. They're like, yo, I got mine. Mine just came in. You know, like, oh, you were in deodorant way too early. But that being said, I just was you know, I was like fooling around a little early, probably like, you know, I don't know, messing around a little bit early.
Were these with girls that were your same age?
Yeah. And like from my church, you know what I mean? Like they'd be like, older people would be hooking up, not older people, but like older kids would. So then some of the younger kids around that age, 5th, 6th grade, you know, we're like hiding somewhere, like pushing and like doing whatever and like touching things that you don't know what you're really doing. You know,
sure.
Touching a girl, then you have no idea. Like, no, absolutely no idea. You're just
flat handing. You're like, is this right?
By the first time you put your hands inside, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel so bad for you because I want to apologize to anyone at that age when I was that age. Like, because like you're just moving your feet. You have no idea, but it's so luxurious to us that, like, when you get your hand in there, you're like, it's never, oh my God, it's like I'm in the gold. And
you're just trying on gloves in there.
Everything. You don't know. You're just fucking doing anything with your hands. And she's like squirming.
She's like,
and you're like, oh,
great.
you know, in your head, you're like, oh, she sounds like she's moaning, but she's hurting.
Yeah.
She's hurting. And then like she's grabbing your hand and you're like, no, it's okay. It's okay. You're hurting her, you know? Like, and you just don't know. Like and then as you get older, the first time you get to the clit, you're all fucked up. You get to the clit, you're rubbing it extra hard. You don't know.
Yeah,
you're just
girls.
like rubbing it.
Not great.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. You're learning. And so I think if any girls listening to this, be vocal with the guy that you're with and tell him, like, don't be afraid. Like, a lot of guys want to know. If it fucks up their ego, then fuck that dude.
Yeah.
Forget that dude. Like, you should be able to tell them, like, no, be gentle. You know, the way I like it is, like, gentle on the, you know, don't, you can rev up to that. but don't just go in thinking every girl likes the nipples bit off. You know what I'm saying?
And if you're new at fingering and you're listening to this, don't attack it like your hands at a rave. Don't like that.
Please don't. And as one girl told me, clean your fucking fingernails. That's what I learned. Let me tell you something. I learned.
That is good advice.
I learned very early. This girl grabbed my hand. She goes, "You're not putting those dirty fucking fingers in me." It changed my life. I have the cleanest fingernails right now to this day.
Thank you, hero. Thank you wherever you are.
What seventh grader has clean fingernails? He doesn't know.
I love it.
And I was putting my hand on it. She was like, "You ain't put these dirty." She grabbed my hand. She was like, "You ain't put these dirty fucking nails inside of me." I was like, "What?" Oh, my nails look like I've been fucking scraping Host chocolate cupcakes. They were just chock full of shit. This dirty mechanic fingernails as a little seventh grade. What had I been doing that? Throwing rock? You know what I mean? And so when I looked at it, I was like, oh man, it was just so crazy. I had never been into cleaning my fingernails. And it became a thing, a lifelong lesson. I judge other dudes. If I see a dude with dirty nails, I'm like, oh, you nasty. It bothered me.
That is something. I feel like that is something that women look at. That I don't know if men know or care, but if a guy has super long fingernails and they're dirty, I am like,
oh, I
get
grossed out by a girl.
Yeah.
Who's with a guy whose hands look like that. I'm like, ew, you're not even helping him. All right, I get that he's fucked up, but the fact that you're not telling him, either you don't care or he's not touching you. I don't know, but you should still say something.
How good is your insurance, ma'am?
Yeah, right. Right. UTIs every other week with those things. He's a representative of you. At the very least, your significant other is you. You must. We're going to see friends. Cut your fucking nails. Cut your nails in. Wear your gloves.
Put your gloves on.
Yeah, I'm not opening your can of soda because your nails are too long. That's not how this relationship is going to work.
Don't put your fucking polio on my can either. Get your dirty COVID fingers the fuck out of here.
You give him a manicure set for Christmas. You're like, just in case.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's gross. But I was just starting to say that so around 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade, it was a little early, messed around at church, and then
now, did you think that those people were were they girlfriend? Did you guys call each other boyfriend and girlfriend, or were you guys just let's experiment a little bit and not worry about saying that we're together or whatever?
I think we did some stuff, and then kissing and groping and stuff, and then it was you want to be my girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember how it would be phrased, but I think I probably was like, hey, are you my girlfriend now? Are you my girlfriend? It's awkward. You're little. What the fuck? You don't really know what you're doing, but it's the order was off. It wasn't we were we courted for a while and then decided to lead right into it.
I remember we had a thing where in our school around that same age, guys would just call you or whatever, text you or not text you, whatever. They'd call you, write a note or whatever, and they would just be they'd ask you out. So and what that meant was do you want to be my girlfriend? But it wasn't we've been spending time together. Do you want to date? It was you're pretty hot. You want to go out? I remember I told my mom, I was this guy asked me out. This older guy asked me out, and she goes, well, what does that mean? And I was like, you're awful. And I ran upstairs and I'm like, I don't know what it
means. That's funny. The acting out because you have no idea.
Yeah, I'm I don't know.
I think in school it was what you're saying. At church, when I was in church, it was more what I'm saying.
Let's just make out in the closet.
Yeah, a little make out down in the basement or whatever. And it was are we together? You know what I mean? My girlfriend or whatever. Awkwardly, but in school it was what you're saying. It was it was the notes.
Yeah.
It was just oh, I like her, trying to figure out who likes who.
Yeah.
I like her. Oh, I liked her before. We're going through all this whole litany of who
you're losing friends over some girl that you both never talked to.
Right, exactly. And you're looking you're sizing it up between you and your friend, oh, he looks better than me. She's probably gonna pick him. You know what I mean?
But I've got those pubes.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like you're deciding, like, oh, can I pick? She likes me more. I talk to her more, whatever. And so you have this weird thing, and that's like, again, that's 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. I feel like it's a little things start to get better around like 9th grade, but 6th, 7th, 8th is really weird times.
Yeah,
because everybody's well. I don't say everybody. Many people are insecure at that time, and it's insecure more than just your average high school insecure person. Like 6th, 7th, 8th is like if you're making out with somebody in 7th grade, making out. We used to call it. Well, I grew up in Milton. They call it scooping and French kissing.
We called it rapping in Connecticut. So,
and I was like, why can't you people just call it making out? What is
all our parents will know.
Yeah, it'd be like a make-out party or something, but they'd be like, "Yo, did you scoop her?" You know, just kissing and shit. You know, what I mean? French kissing. As I got older, was like, "Yo, I tongued that shit down." But around 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I would say that like around 7th grade, if you're making out with somebody, it's half of the time you don't know if the next day you're weird to each other. Sometimes, like if you're not like a cliquey little couple, you're sometimes that next day you're broken up because shit is so finicky. Then you don't know if you should be kissing somebody. You don't know if you should be with somebody.
Yeah.
The next day the girl feels weird. The next day you feel weird. The next day you're like, I said, don't tell anybody. You know, and you're like. This is when shit's awkward in schools. Like, you walk by a group of people, if they're giggling or whatever, like, I know you said something to somebody. They didn't say anything. And then all of a sudden you're like broken up that day. You know what I mean? And it's like you're with them one day, not with them the next day.
Yeah.
You think that everybody is all into everything, and they are, because like it's like I just told one person, and then everyone's like, "Yo, I heard you, you hit your hands in your pants," and you're like, "What?" And you're like, and so it's like, and you're uncomfortable about everything. Like you're so nervous about people knowing
anything.
Not nervous, but you're embarrassed.
But I just think you don't want to be talked about, like whatever it is. You're like, even if you're not embarrassed that something happened, you're like, I just don't want people talking about me because that might turn into making fun of me. And I feel like from like 6th to 8th grade, that is what everyone is so paranoid about. Like people just don't want to be.
Mode.
Yeah.
You don't want to be. You don't want to be made fun of that way. And then it gets bigger as you get to high school. The stakes are bigger.
Right.
It's not as small. No one gives a fuck if you're making out in high school unless it's with the premier people in high school. Like with the top or the bottom. Everybody else in between, you make out however you want to fucking make out.
Sure.
That's the one. And he made out with her. Now you got people chirping because they're jealous or embarrassed or surprised or whatever, or or the ugly duckling is fucking hooking up with somebody. Like, holy shit, he must have low self-esteem. Everyone's like, you know what I mean? This is just what they say when you're going, but it's less of a big deal if there's a makeout party happening. That's like normal.
Did you guys have makeout parties? Like,
No, we never called it that. I'm just kind of summing shit up. We would just be at a party and people would be making out.
Yeah.
But we're never like, I'm going to do a makeup party. Just like,
okay. Well, I had an 8th grade spin the bottle club, so. But it was very helpful because then it was like then I knew my relationship with this person is like, I kiss these 3 people a couple times a month so we can all keep our skills brushed up for if there's somebody more important to be kissing down the line.
It's like corporate training.
And that was very helpful.
Yeah. I never was part of a spin the bottle club, even though I played spin the bottle a few times and had some fun out of it. It was more my fun came more from Truth or Dare. That was the game.
Yeah.
That always would happen. And then it was like you playing with a lame-o. I hate playing with lame-os in Truth or Dare. They're like, truth. It's like nobody wants to fucking play truth. Nobody wants truth. After we went through the first round of truth, and you're always waiting for the one person to break and be like, "Dare," and you're like,
everyone's like,
the lights turn red.
The spotlight comes out.
If you're a dude sitting there with Dare, you're just like, please ask me to kiss somebody. Please ask me.
At that point, you're just, it's like one round of truth, and then it becomes spin the bottle. But
it's crazy. Because if it doesn't, you're like, nah, it's lame if you keep going. Because sometimes you do want to know something. You're like, did you make out with so and so? Did you sleep with whatever?
Yeah.
And you get to that shit or whatever. Have you ever had sex? You know what I mean? Or that and never have I ever.
Never
have I ever
yeah.
was huge.
Never have I ever. You find out a lot. High school, never have I ever. You're sitting around a little random party with people that like, sometimes it'd be people you're real cool with, and sometimes not. And then you're like, oh, you just got cool to me.
Yeah.
Never have I ever.
There'd be like a couple times you're just sitting around and you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, you have? You little bro.
Did you misunderstand the rules, or are you more interesting than I thought you were?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Like, oh, you just got your cool card. There you go. Yeah, but I think one of so I had those super young loves, but what I say my first real girl that I loved was, I was in 9th grade and she lived in a town next to my town, and she was in 11th grade. She was a couple years older than me. And I was dumb. Like, I was just dumb. Like I liked, she was very pretty. So pretty. And I was just like, I was so dumb. And I liked everything. About her. And she was just sexy. But like, at that time, again, your feeling processes, they're fucked up, so I'm goo goo gaga looking at her, and then she knew the things to do. Like, I had never had a blowjob yet at that point.
So did you guys start dating? Like, how did you meet her? If she lives in another town, was she from church?
So I always was. Wherever I always go to places around me. So I went to the bowling. The pool hall. That was like the next town over. So I went to play pool. I'm always in there playing pool. Me and a couple of my friends. So I met her playing pool, and we just started talking. Man, started hanging out. It started talking like at that time, and this is pre-cell phone.
Yeah,
phone. Talking to all times of night. This is when you could call a payphone back.
Oh yeah.
I used to go and sit outside the fire station in my town, talk on the payphone till all times of night, because I grew up with my grandparents, and my grandmother would pick up the phone a lot and be like, "You better hang up that phone." Right? She'd pick up in the middle of the call, I'd be like, "Yeah, so your nipples are there," and she'd be like, "You better get off this phone." I'm like, "Oh, grandmother would just be listening for a while. I'd be like, "You gonna do what?" And my grandmother would be like, "You gonna do what?" And I'm like, "Oh, I gotta go. And nasty on the phone. It was so embarrassing, but you had no other option. It wasn't like I had my own, and then eventually as I got older, I got my own phone in my room. Holy shit, my own line.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was the holy grail to get your own line.
Yeah, those people were super cool.
But besides that, I was very dumb. Like so we started talking, we started dating. So I was going over to the next town over all the time, every day after school, and then you just start trying to get your friends, and I'm like, "Yo, hook up with her sister."
Yeah, so you guys can keep hanging out.
Yeah, so we can hang out more and more and more. My friends like, "Yo, let's hang out." I'm like, "Yo, come with me. She's a sister, and they have friends. And
there's girls there."
Yeah, so a couple of my buddies would go over and hang out with her and her friends and shit, and it was cool. Nobody was having as much fun as me. Because, like I said, it was the first time I got a blowjob, and then like we were just doing stuff. It was the first time like I was like I'd ever like really like
experimented.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like was like blah, blah, and I was like down there, and I was this is great, and I was like doing it, and because I had like it's like you're young like that, like you don't know. This was 9th grade for me, so like prior to that, like I had attempted it, but it was like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like,
yeah,
it just wasn't my thing. I was like, no, and I don't think
it might have just been because you liked her so much more.
Yeah, and you said we can speak freely here too. Let me just be honest. Like, I don't think that. I think when you're young like that, you don't know. Girls aren't like, everybody's not always up on their hygiene the way they should be, or know everything or whatever. You're little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're young. 8th grade is 8th.
Yeah.
early ninth grade. You don't fucking know
that in eighth grade. Yeah.
Like, I just play tennis, whatever. Like, you don't know. You just kind of like, you know what I mean? There's many times when you're just like, oh, this is gross. So whatever. I'm not saying that for every girl, whoever's listening. I'm just saying sometimes like that. My encounters and my friends stuff their fingers in my face. I'm like, right? You know, because that's what boys do. You know what I mean? They go to like, and you're like, oh.
Laura's like, and also, boys, wash your hands.
Yeah.
I know. But it's like a little thing. They run up and they'll just stick it right in your face. Like, hey, you're like, oh, get off my face. Put it right in your nose. You know what I mean?
Laura's like so sad that I missed being a boy in 8th grade.
Oh, Laura, I'm sorry. This is just what they would. This is very common. Very common.
No, I'm aware. God.
Yeah, and so, what made her so much better was just that, like, I wasn't even dating a lot of people at that time. Like, you know, again, it was 9th grade, but she was older, and I think her experience was crazy. Like I said, I never had a blowjob. Like, that was great. I was like, oh shit. Like, that happened, and it was good. It wasn't like, you know, it was you know, I'm chasing that drug ever since. You know what I mean? It was good, and it was like between just the way she looked, between the way she treated me, but then I was blind to a lot of stuff. I was stupid, but like I liked everything, like her hair, face, every part about her, and then I liked her brain, her mind. She was a little older, so she could keep, you know, conversation. We would navigate well. We could talk. We talk about whatever, process some stuff, but in a young, in a high school way.
Sure.
I'm not saying she's telling me about stocks and shit, but in a high school way, we were processing. Like I like feet. I have like a foot fetish, and her feet were like fucking, so good. Like,
was that what started the foot fetish, or do you think you already were like into feet and then she happened to have nice feet?
No, I was already into feet.
Okay.
Even when I was since I was little. My mom used to tell me that the babysitter sometimes would be like, he's bad, but he'll just if I let him rub my legs, he just sits there and rubs my legs and my feet, and he just sits there. She's like, other than that, he's ripping the fucking house to pieces. She's like, I let him do it. My mom's like, that's fine. If he keeps me.
I will say, I used to babysit, and I was like, my friend was like, do you want to come over while I babysit these 2 kids? And I was like, ugh, I guess. But like, whenever I would babysit, I would leave exhausted because we would be like playing games and making food and then interrupting this game and playing another game and like, you know, doing whatever. And I was like, I guess I'll go over there with you. And I go over and she's like, I go, all right, like, what do you guys want to play? And she's like, that's not what we're doing. And she's like, she put in a movie that we wanted to watch. And then we both sat on the couch and we put our arms out and the kids had to tickle our arms. And we ate the pizza that their mom ordered. And I was like, this is a different babysitting than what I have been doing. I was like, I go, I will cover for you anytime you can't do this.
There you go. So yeah. So anyways, yeah. So that I think my dad was like that. My dad like notices like feet and shit. He's like, I know he's like that. And then I just have been like that since I was little dude. And I just notice it. Like I notice.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I pay attention to them. Like I either like I won't date somebody for their feet. Like I have like I can hook up before I see them, but I kind of want to see them. But like I don't want to weirdly see them. I don't want to be like right before we kiss, like take those shoes off her. But like you can peek at them, you know. Not on some boomerang shit either. It's just like a thing. It's just something that I like. So
if you were dating someone and they had terrible feet, but everything else about them was perfect, do you think you could keep dating them, or do you think you would have to be like, oh, I don't know?
Okay, so this is such a good question because in college this came up so many times, and people are so put out when I answer this. But no, I don't care if everything else is like, it's hard to get past that. Like, now I could be like, oh, the person has a great mind. And we're going to get into all of this because then that's because what I'm talking about is superficial. We're talking about her feet, right?
Yeah.
That's superficial. Her boobs, they're going to sag eventually, right? My face is going to drop eventually. Be all droopy and she'll like fucking Danny Glover if I don't. Right? So everything, all of us are going to break down. And so what I'm talking about is superficial. Is something that I like and something that I'm really into. But at the same time, if I had the chance to connect with her on another level, which is where we need to be as you get older anyways, is connecting on a higher level, because all this shit's going to go. then yeah, of course, and I could forego it. But
Yeah.
I probably won't give it the chance to get there. Because I wanna when I'm fooling around, like that's just something that, and I want to be able to. That's something I want.
She
Like,
can't hide those feet forever, but before.
but yeah, but okay, but I'm saying, okay, so Katie, so seriously though, right? Because whatever people aren't into.
But see, I think it's the same as if like someone had like I think bad breath is so gross to me.
Okay.
So like
There you
if someone was so great and their breath was like atrocious and there was nothing that they could do about it, I do think I would be like, I don't know. And I mean like if people were smokers, I was like, I just don't think this is gonna work because that's disgusting to me.
Right.
And so like even if they were amazing, so that's why I was curious because like I know it seems stupid, but if that's really what you're so into,
it puts a wall up whether you want it to be there or not. You're like, the access to the thing I want isn't there because of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So exactly, and if that can't be there, why would I put myself in a position to not have something that I'm into
that much? Yeah.
Why would I block that? And again, I was about to say when you went with the bad breath analogy, it's the same thing. Like if you're missing teeth, like all your front teeth are gone or something like that, like they're just rotted out and you don't fix them, right? And then like, and you're a great person, but like, I want someone with teeth.
Yeah.
So is it bad? More people would relate to that because more people care about teeth than they do feet.
Yeah.
Right? So more people will relate to the bad breath because they care about bad breath more than they care about feet. But whatever you're into, if you're into someone's not going to be with you if you don't give blowjobs. They're going to be like, man, fuck that. I don't want to be with somebody who doesn't give blowjobs. Like, I want that. You know, you might not be with a guy who, you know, whatever his thing, whatever's going on with them, whatever the deal is with him. So that's just one of my deal breakers.
Laura used to not go out with guys that were nice to her. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Worked out great.
What's your thing, Laura? What is your thing though? Like, what's your superficial thing? Like, I literally have broken up or not went further with people because of their feet. So what's your superficial thing?
I mean, it might be breath. Like I will be like, I can deal with it until it becomes apparent that I cannot deal with it. So, and then I don't know that I'm good at saying that. Like, I don't think I can be like, this isn't happening for me. I'll just continue to get weirder until
they break up with you.
Yeah. I'll be like, no, I don't mind it. And then I can hear myself being like, if you say the words, you'll fix the problem. And then I can't. That might be it. I mean, I'm willing to, I don't know. I'm gonna stop there.
But there's no other blocks. So what do you, let me ask you guys this before we move on. What do you like? What are you into though? Like, what are you into?
I like, I didn't realize this, but I like butts, and I like when people have. I hate when guys have flat butts like that. I hate when anybody has a flat butt. Like, I know you can't do anything about it, but I'm just like, can you just get a butt? Like,
it's less fun to touch if it's harder to find. Yeah.
So I do. I have not a problem, I guess, but I don't like when men have thin legs. And again, like, I know you can't help it, but it's just like my legs are so thick and like my butt is big. So like if my huge quad is next to yours and mine looks like it can squat more, I'm like, that's not gonna work.
Right.
And it doesn't help because I haven't squatted in a while because I hurt my back. But before that, I was squatting more than a lot of men. So I was like, you just got to deal with that. Like, you know, you're going to squat more than men, but like, their legs can't look like my calf. Like, that's a problem.
and we all have those things. We all have whatever that is. We have like little things that you're into that take you from like. Now there are things that are pet peeves, and then there are things that take just one step up, where you're like, oh, I like a dude that you know has a nice chest, like that turns me on. After being just with the dude, if you take the shit off and his chest is really nice, like that's the shit I like. Or like I'm into his obliques, or I'm into, you know, eyes, or I'm into teeth, or I'm into, you know what I mean? There's always something extra, you know. I don't know. But some people won't say it. They feel weird. They feel superficial. And it's like, fuck it. It's it's you. Like, why can't you decide for you what you want? It's not like you're putting out an ad that's like, you must have these things. But it's like, you know what? If I got a preference, I want a car with a sunroof. You understand? If it doesn't have a sunroof, I'll still drive it. But I would prefer a sunroof.
But I'll keep my eyes peeled for a sunroof in case I see one.
So
this she girl, had great feet.
She had great feet. Yeah, I was between that and a lot of other good stuff about her. Oh, something happened to Laura.
That's all right. Well, we lost Laura for 2 seconds. She'll come back.
I was wondering why. I thought she was frozen.
Me too. First, I thought she was really mad about the sunroof because she was frozen on the screen.
I was like, she doesn't like sunroofs.
I was like, it can be anything. I was like, it can be power windows too.
He's very stoic.
I was laughing. So for the listeners, we do record on Zoom and we do upload our podcast up to YouTube. So go ahead and head on over to Pinky Promise Pod on YouTube and you can see the video and you can see Laura's very stoic response to our sunroof. And hopefully she pops back in here. But yeah, I think that is interesting. The idea of I do think people are, especially I would say about women, I want to say people get anxious about saying physical attributes that they appreciate or look for, which is funny. And I think women pretend, I feel like women pretend like we don't do it, but we totally do it. But we'll be like, I can't believe you're judging them on those looks. But meanwhile, we're like, that guy has the most busted teeth. I'm not talking to him.
Right.
Or he has dirty fingernails.
and sometimes I think women do it and they say, like, I think sometimes women do it and when they're doing it, they don't really want to do it because it shines a light on them.
Yeah.
So as you talk about somebody else, it's almost like, well, what the fuck are you guys? So it's like, to block that and evade that, you just are like, no, everything's fine. It's all good, you know?
All right, we're going to take a quick break and we will come right back in 2 seconds. We're going to let Laura back in here.
To the bat for right.
Hey guys, and we're back with Laura. So while you were gone, Laura, you did freeze for a bit and Corey and I were like, wow, she's really mad because you had like a stern face. And then the stern face lasted like 6 minutes and we were like, maybe she's not mad. Maybe she's just gone.
Hard to tell. It's anyone's guess.
Laura, we thought you got so mad about
something. No. But yeah, Corey, like we've been talking for 47 minutes and we still haven't even gotten to your first love story past that she had nice feet.
So picking up where we left off, like I was just trying to say, like I really did like her. I was really into her, you know, as we established. And why? Because, you know, as I was saying, we could process things together on like on a level of like, you know, as high school kids could. But she was a couple years older than me. I was a freshman. She was a junior. But like, you know, I was starting to bring my friends over there, like I told you. And so I got blinded. And this is how I know it was love, because I got blinded, right? And I got very dumb. I was willing to like, so she got pregnant and I was like, I don't give a fuck about school. This is the meaning of life. Like I'm a freshman. What the fuck am I talking about? This is the meaning of life. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, I don't give a shit. I'll leave. I can work wherever. I'll fucking go away to the military if I have to. Come back. I'll go away. And, you know, I was just saying all kinds of stuff.
You were ready. Like, you were every kid in a movie who's like, this is it. We'll be good. We can feed our bills with love, baby.
Just listen, all of that shit. I was all in it. And I've never been that dumb before and since. But in this phase, in this overwhelmed what I was at, and it wasn't just the feet. I know someone's like, he loves those feet. No, I had nice feet before that. All right, and I'm just saying, it wasn't just that. It was many things about her. I was completely infatuated, completely first love, completely willing to be rebellious, you know, with my grandparents as they're telling me like, hey, you know, because like now we get to the nitty gritty of the story. Her mother was very racist. And so, like, you know, she was white. Her mother was very racist. They were very disrespectful to me. She was very disrespectful. Her dad and mom were split up. So this was prior to her being pregnant. So it wasn't like her mom was disrespectful after she was pregnant. Her mom was just very disrespectful. Like to the degree where, like, you know, like I'd be over our house sitting on the porch or whatever, and somebody's gonna make a porch monkey joke. Anyways, I was at the house sitting on her porch.
I was like, if this goes there, I'm gonna kill that lady.
No, she did it. But it was almost, you'd rather someone say things in the way that this lady treated you, because she treated me like she was saying that. Yeah. So she would come and she would come home and she'd say stuff like, you know, I don't want you here. You know, she was very passive aggressive, but aggressive. Yeah. She was passive aggressive. You know what I mean? So she would be like, you know, I don't want you here. You know, this is I don't want you around, right? But she'd be like walking by me when she said it. It wasn't like confrontational.
Yeah.
It was like, no, I don't want you here. Meanwhile, she's like, don't worry about my mom. Like, you know, and when you're young, you listen to the people that are related to the person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're like, you'll be at someone's house and, you know, and they're like, the parents are yelling at them and they're like, oh, she's always like that. That's like, they're always like that. And you're like, all right, it sounds fucked up in here, but you're telling me it's cool. Yeah. Sounds like we're going to get murdered by your parents, but you're like, it's cool. You know, the parents will be like, don't leave the house. We're like, come on, let's go. Fuck that. Let's leave. Let's leave.
And you're always like, you sure?
You sure? I wouldn't leave my house right now. Exactly. I should go home. No. Fuck that. No, fuck her. Fuck that. I'm like, okay. All right. Let's go. So anyways, I'm there and her mom would say these passive aggressive things to me. And then like, they would like, she'd be like, don't worry about my mom. She's just like that, whatever. She's just rude. Whatever, she really likes you, or she'd make you leave, right? And she really likes. I'm like, she says she doesn't want me here, but I was so caught up, that I was so dumb, and I would sit there, and then she said, and then like her mom would come home with food, right? Like I'd be sitting there, and she would come home with food, and I remember one day, this is so fucked up. They went in the house. They wouldn't let me in the house. Like this is like old school, like shit, like. She wouldn't let me in the house when they were like eating or something. So she was like, stay outside. We're eating dinner.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. And my girlfriend at the time would be like, she'd be like, I'll be right out in a couple minutes. Just fucking don't leave. But like, again, I didn't have low self-esteem. I don't.
But if you're into her, you're like, this is worth it.
I'm like, all right, you know, fuck it. Like, that's my girlfriend. Like, whatever she's saying, wait.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. Like, I don't like, it was almost like you can do this thing where when people are in fucked up situations, they can decide what they're going to allow to affect them.
Mm-hmm.
So when her mom was saying that to me, it was almost like, you don't matter anyways. Like, come outside in a couple minutes. We about to be hanging out the rest of the night outside, chilling. So it doesn't matter. I'll deal with this shit because it's not, I don't really care. I don't want to eat at your house anyways.
Yeah.
I remember one time she came home with McDonald's. She got couple big bags of McDonald's she came in the house with. You know, there was her sister, her brother, and whatever. And the mom or whatever. So she came home with the McDonald's or whatever, walked by me. She a little like disgruntled with me. Goes in the house, and then she comes back out the door, throws a cheeseburger outside the door. Right? She threw a cheeseburger outside. Because I'm just sitting on the porch waiting. Like, it became normal like that. Like, she came home around dinner time. I was there. They would go eat. I would be outside. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or they have dinner. And she threw a cheeseburger outside. I remember I was just like, I was like, this bitch think like you throwing cheeseburgers at me. Like my family, like I grew up with, like I grew up in a pretty upper middle class area, better than where they were. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was almost like, I got burgers.
You're like, I'm good.
I'm good. We're good. Trust me, we're good. We're better than what you're doing right now. 100%. You know, you're in some little fucking duplexy looking whatever this is. Like, we got a home. We got. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying but we're good. And so, again, eyes on the prize. Like, it didn't bother me because I was just like, you're so stupid. Like, you have no idea. I don't need your fucking McDonald's. You know, like by you go, but it was disrespectful. I'm just telling you guys the disrespect, and I'm telling you the disrespect that I allowed because I was so blinded by the love for the girl. Now, again, here's the situation. Someone might be like, well, why wouldn't she stick up for you? Why wouldn't she? But she did. But there's only so much that she can do.
If she's in high school,
And there's only so much she can do without fucking up the whole night, because then it's like really like you need to go home.
Yeah.
So it was almost like I got to take some of this shit. She got to kind of be like,
right?
Yeah.
Right? She got to do that whole thing, and then we hang out the rest of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the situation. So then fast forward, we're hanging out a lot, and then this lady used to cause massive problems. Like I told you, I grew up with my grandparents, and she would come over to my house. Girl would come over to my house, and her parents would call the cops all the time.
To say what?
Not her parents, her mom would call the cops all the time, and she would say that, you know, her daughter's missing or whatever, you know, or that her daughter's there and she's not supposed to be there. You know, she's 16, 17, whatever. I was like, 14, you know, her daughter's missing. Or like I was 15, she was 17. That her daughter's missing, and that you know, she knows where she is though. She's at the house. You need to go check on her.
Oh my God!
At these black people's house and all this other shit. But like
Jesus.
my parents, so like I know the cops. I'm pretty cool. So they come to like, hey man, Corey, I'm like, yeah, she's fucking here. They're like, all right, well, your mom's looking for you. Like she's calling the shit out of the station, complaining. You got to check in with your mom. You got to go home. You got to call her. You got to do something. But she's aggravating the fuck out of us. This is what the officers are saying to me. We're sitting there and they're telling her this. So the mom would call all the time. Then when she wouldn't call the cops, she would call and harass my grandparents. And so my grandparents are Southern black grandparents. Like they're not very, you know, my grandfather's like, you should be with your own anyway.
Like he wasn't thrilled about it anyway, so he was just like, lady, I'm on your side.
He's like, you feel somebody black, but here's the flip of that. My grandfather's very logical. He's like, I wouldn't do this. I don't agree with this. You should be with somebody black. But at the same time, fuck that lady. He said fuck that lady without saying fuck that lady because he doesn't speak that way. He's a church-going Christian, you know what I'm saying? So he doesn't speak like, but he was just like, man, no. Like, this is wrong what she's doing. Because she would call and be like, he's not good enough to be with my daughter. And they were like, good enough? And I remember my grandfather getting on the phone and be like, stop calling the house or we're going to be calling the cops on you for harassment. Calling over there. But like they've never defended me that way. It was weird to have them like inside us. Like they're older people that they don't even want to be. This is not their world. Like this shit of like people calling back and forth on the phone and boyfriend girlfriend shit. Like this might not make sense to you, but I didn't grow up like that. I grew up with these are my grandparents. They're older. They have a roof over my head. That's what counts. That's it. Like everything else, other little shenanigans shit. They never came to a football game, a wrestling match that I've done, a basketball game that I played, a track meet. None of that shit. They're not into that. They're into like you got food, you got shelter, you got money to do whatever you want. Then just fuck it. That's it. I'm not coming on get like. And it was just like that. It wasn't like they purposely were like we're not coming to anything. They're about business. Like about business. We're about taking care of the home. All right. So now this is like crazy shit. Crazy. So, anyways, she gets pregnant. Okay. So when she gets pregnant, I told you guys I lost my mind. I'm ready to do whatever.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Fuck everything. I'm ready. I'm ready to drop out. I don't know shit. I'm ready. I'm in 9th grade and I'm ready to fucking have it.
Yeah.
You're an adult.
I'm an adult. I'm ready. Well, who can't do this? I've seen it on TV. People have kids young and they do it. They raise them. I was thinking of all the pros. I was like, well, they'll be young. I'll be young. Oh, I'm thinking of all this crazy shit. It makes sense to me. I'm like, it's supposed to happen like this. Now, shit starts getting fucked up now. So now, mom and dad are racist. I meet dad eventually. Dad acts okay to my face. Racist as fuck though. She tells me shit he says later, right? It's always her facilitating.
Which also, like, why is she telling you that he's saying that? You know what I mean? I know she's young, but
here's what's fucked up about that. When someone does tell you things like that about someone who's closer to them than you,
yeah,
it does draw you in more. So you almost want to know, but then like the flip side is like, why would you say that? But that's for your ears only. But it does draw you into the other person that you're trying to make that bond with even more.
Yeah.
Because you're basically telling on people closer to you that are bonded closer to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as a guy, I do like that. Because I've always been like this too. Ever since, I don't care what the situation is, man, woman, guys on guys with guys, whatever. I don't like if people don't really like me or whatever. If someone's not really cool with me or something like that, and you know that, and that's like you're the friend link. Let me know that.
You want to know, yeah.
I want to know. I'm not like in the dark. I'm not like I wish I never knew. No. I like to know. Like if you're not really my dad, don't be like, no, I don't know how he's gonna handle it. Fucking let me know. I'm not that dude. Like, I want to be in the dark. My life's easier this way. I'm not that fucking dude. I don't care what happened. I don't care how I got here. I don't care. Like I want to know. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. It doesn't bother me. Like I want to know. So it makes me feel like I don't want to be in someone's face smiling and being like I feel more violated if I give you me and I know you don't like me and someone else knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm more violated. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you and I are friends, Katie, and Laura doesn't like me, and I'm with Laura, I'm like, Laura, you want another drink? What are you guys doing? No. I'm just being myself. We're being silly. So I'm like, Laura, you got some nice toes too. Look at them little toes. I'm like being me, being all stupid and silly and shit, you know, and you never tell me. And Laura's like, I fucking hate him. I hate everything. Like, I don't like that dude.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, giggling and smiggling and whatever, like, I don't like, I feel violent. Now
yeah,
I feel
you'd
like,
rather just know up front.
I just gave you all of this. I gave you all the real me. You don't deserve. You deserve to like parent. You deserve to parent me. You know, you don't deserve to. So, some people don't want that though. Some people want to be hidden. They want to be in the dark. It makes my life easier.
Yeah.
So
what did the dad do? So how soon? Like you guys knew and you were ready to go. How long did you wait till you told her parents?
So shit starts getting fucked up now. Okay, so. I meet the dad one time. He's okay with me. You know what I mean? Find out he's racist later. Another time she's at the dad's house and the dad is very upset. She's pregnant. She told the dad, very upset. Pushes her down the stairs.
Oh my God.
Pushes her down the stairs, loses the baby.
Oh my God.
Right? So, like racist like a motherfucker. Miscarriage. So then this happens. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? So I'm like, I had this like weird 9th grade moment where I was like, you know, like that's my fucking baby was in there.
Yeah.
Like I'm like bugged out. I'm like, what do you do? And I don't know. It was a weird thing. And so that happened. I don't know. Can't say you get over it. I mean, it was just like, what do I do? Like, I was like, I'll fuck your dad up. Like, I'm saying all this shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, again, I'm in 9th grade. There's this dude. I'm thinking now I'm gonna fuck him up. And I was never like a guy who's like, I'm gonna go over there and shoot him. Like, I wasn't that dude. I'm not just gonna make.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bomb the fucking building. I wasn't that guy. People just make threats that they're not gonna whatever. But I wasn't that dude. I wasn't gonna go over there. I don't know. I was just thinking I'd just catch him. I'll just fuck him up. You know, I'm gonna fuck him up. Do that to me. I'm gonna talk to my friends. We're gonna go over there and fuck him up. And then like she was just like, "That's my dad, though." Like, you know what I mean? Like it was fucked up. I feel bad, you know. But like, you know, so it's kind of like sad and
yes, like obviously she has her own dynamic in that household too. For her dad to be able to do that to her.
Yeah, but they didn't live together. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She went over to visit the dad. You know what I'm saying? So it was like. They don't live. This is a whole dysfunctional type of situation. So then we fast forward. Now this is the girl I love still. So like I'm still all in. I'm like, oh man, I'm like going
How
through.
long had you guys been together at this point?
Oh, we must have stayed together like, high school time. It seemed like 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was under 2 years that we really like. By the time we finally clipped everything and stopped fucking around and stopped everything, like stopped with the residual fucking around.
Right.
Probably like 2 years, I would say. Probably about 2 years, or like the most intense year
Yeah.
of my life.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
year and a half of my life. Maybe,
There's adult married couples who can't make it through a completely uncaused miscarriage. So I can't even imagine like what the stress on your relationship to know that her dad did that.
As
So then-
kids, yeah.
So then this is what happens. So then we're we were good though. Like it was almost like that's my girl, whatever, we're good. And she this is what I'm about to tell you now is what made me it opened my eyes, and it damaged my trust for a long time, and probably still affects my trust to this day. So I told you this is a time when you could call and talk on cell phones and stuff, right? You could call,
Right.
I mean, on
Payphones. Yeah.
Excuse me. You could have someone call you back on the payphone, and you could be talking or whatever. So what happened was I had started bringing friends over to hook up with the sister and like other friends, so we all be hanging out together. So my best friend at the time was like, I was hooking him up with her sister or whatever, you know what I mean? And like he was like, she's all right. Like he didn't love her, he wasn't like all about it. He was like, she's all right, whatever. So I'm on the payphone and I'm talking to her on the phone, like around the corner from my house. I'm on the payphone. She's calling me, whatever. It was a time when I couldn't be over. So I'm like, I'm close by, whatever. We're just talking on the phone. So she says to me, she's talking to me regular, you know what I mean? And she says something like, oh, I gotta go. She told me she had to go for some reason. I don't remember the reason now. Doesn't matter. She said, I had to go. I said, okay. I said, oh, okay. Right? So she clicks off, like to click over. And I don't know why. To this day. I was just holding the phone. When she said she had to go, I'm holding the phone. And then I hear her click over. And when she clicks over, I'm in the call. She's talking to my best friend. She's talking to my boy. And they're like, yeah, I just hung up with him now. And they just start having all this little love talk.
No.
So they're having this talk, and I'm like, yo, this is fucking crazy. So I'm listening I put my hand over the, back then you couldn't mute.
You couldn't, you just like try not to breathe.
Mute. This was mute. So I'm muting the fucking phone. I'm listening. I'm like, oh shit. I'm just listening. I'm like,
oh my God.
I was so devastated on many levels because
all that bullshit.
Right? And then her, and then I'm like, damn, man, these are the two people outside of family that meant the most to me. Right? And I was like, these two motherfuckers. And he's like, yeah, I'll come through. And it didn't sound like they had ever done anything from when listening, but it sounded like the plans were getting in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was almost like I couldn't believe that my boy was doing this shit. And I was just listening to him. He was so excited. He was like, oh yeah, because I was raving about her or whatever. That's why you gotta be careful who you talking to, what you saying about who you're seeing.
Yeah.
Other people are just taking a note like, fuck it, I want that too. I'm ranting, raving about it. I'm excited. I'm in love, blah, blah, blah. that to this day has fucked me up. And I don't know why I stay on the phone. I don't know how in the world. I didn't think it was a 3-way call or nothing.
Yeah.
No.
But when I found, oh my God, and then I just slow played all of it. You know what I mean? I just act like I didn't know shit, and then I just blew it up when I was ready to blow it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just listened to all of it, and then I just was like, yo. Then I just said I said it to her, and then like I did it in a way where they couldn't like
make their stories match or whatever.
Match it up, kind of. You know what I mean? It was kind of like said something to her, like, and then me and my other friend were going to school. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like access, it wasn't cell phones.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So
Right.
like how it was split, it was like they couldn't get together and start talking that shit. So I was like, yo, man, I heard. He was like, what are you talking about? It's funny when they caught. They're like, what are you talking? What do you mean? And I'm like, I heard the whole shit. I was on the phone, but how were you on the phone? I was like, well, I was on the phone and blah, 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 blah. And it was just like devastation on all parts. And it was like, wow,
What a nightmare.
You're such a lying bitch that it was like, I think to this day that fucks with my because
I'm sure because it's your two closest people outside of your family, and like it'd be one thing if it was a stranger, you'd be like, yeah, that sucks, but you're like, at least I can talk about it with my best friend.
Right. So and I won't even get mad in situations when it's a stranger, like some people do. Like I wouldn't then chase down the stranger. The stranger is the stranger. The person who has the link to you is the person who has the link to you.
Yeah.
The stranger is always the stranger. It doesn't fucking matter. Even the stranger knows of you. The stranger is the stranger.
Yeah.
The person who's attached to you. That's why I never understand when someone goes after a dude. If there's a rogue dude that's hooking up with your girl and you go after that, you fucking go on my girl, my lady. It's like, no, that's her.
Worry about your lady.
Her. That's her.
Yeah.
She's giving access. That dude is being a dude. And the same thing with a woman. If your guy is giving access to a chick, you can't be like, you knew he was with somebody else. You came over and you tempted him. No, he's the only one who has an alliance with you. The other person is like, hey, I'm just living. I'm just living.
So did you stay friends with the guy at all, with your best friend, or was it that just like done?
So we had a falling out for a while, and I was like, yo, man, like I don't. And I don't use this loosely. Like I hate people like I don't have a big circle. I do have a lot of friends. I have a lot of really close acquaintances. I have a tighter group of friends, like real good friends. He was in that group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like tell whatever, do whatever at each other's houses, like mom, like whatever. Like, yo, it's time to throw down. Like the type of friend when like, I'm not just like a hothead, but like the type of friend, you have friends that you'll be like, I'll risk shit for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we might all get fucked up. There's 2 of us and 7 of them, but they're fucking you up. Like that type of friend that you do. Not the type of friend where you're like, we need some help. Somebody get help here. You just run away from the situation like, somebody, we need help. The type of friend where you go in, you both get if that's your life. I'm not saying that's what we were going through, but I'm just trying to paint the friend it was. So to answer your question, we had a long layoff. We had a long hiatus for a while. And his explanation was good enough that we started to rebond again, and everything was proceeded with such caution, and it was almost like a relationship with that was like he was doing a lot of tippy-toeing at first to try to just get back, like, yo, I'm not that dude, like, yo. And then he just kind of broke it down and said, he was like, yo, man, I was young, man. I was like young. I was infatuated too. He was like, I wanted her, man. He was like, I didn't know
this girl.
He was like, I didn't know. He was like, I fucked up. Like, he was like, basically his at the end of the day, if I remember the main parts of what he was saying was just that, like, yo, I was young, dumb, overly sexualized, not hooking up with anybody, not really getting anything myself.
Right.
Like an opportunity. I just was trying to take that opportunity, not realizing what was happening in the process. He's like, I was a young dude, man. Like, we were both young. I was stupid, and whatever. And so as we've gotten older and as we've grown on together.
So you guys are still friends now? We're
friends now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm friends with well, I'm not friends with. I'm
friendly.
You're friends with the girl. I don't really. I mean, I care less at this point. I'm telling you the story. I know the pain of it, but I don't give a fuck. Like at this point, like whatever. I remember I liked her so much that I'll tell you, it's another example of how you know that, like, and I only keep saying these things like I liked her so much that I'm saying these things because it's painting a picture of letting you know like where my mind was at compared to everybody else before and after that. So where I was at was, I remember I was in Blockbuster one time and this girl was flirting with me and she was just like flirting hard. She's like, what are you doing later? Whatever. Like, it's just because you go to the mall or you see, like when you're at that age and pre-cell phone and pre-social media, pre all that shit, wherever you were at, you spot on site, you know, you're at the beach, you're at the fucking, you know what I mean? You're at the hangout, wherever you are, you're at some park, you're at the mall, you're at the movies, like you're always meeting and greeting and you're always meeting girls and guys and girls. And that's just how it went down. So I'm in Blockbuster with one of my boys and, you know, this girl's just being very flirty, cute girl, whatever. And I remember being like, you're just trying to set me up. You're just you know my girlfriend. You're trying to set me up. She's like, what are you talking about? Well, I don't know you have a girlfriend. But I was so like,
I don't want to screw this up.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're just so dumb. You're dumbly head over heels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just think you're trying to. I was like, you tried to get me. Oh, she's like, and the girl's like dumbfounded. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you're a good actress, right? And she's like, you're a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know your girlfriend. I didn't even know you had a girlfriend. I just was trying to talk to you, but now you're making it weird. So whatever, kind of like fuck off. And I was just like, all right. And I was like, yeah. And in my head, I'm like, pass that test. Doesn't even matter because I got
Oh my God. That's so crazy.
You know, I wouldn't think like that. No, you know, normally you weigh out the situation, but I was immediately, everything was always just like, nope,
Yeah.
I'm good. No, I'm good. You know, like, I'm good. There was no, like, even
just blocking.
Yeah, you're like, out of here. Bye.
Like, when I will say this, though. There's comfort in feeling like that. There's such comfort in being able to feel like that, where like, you know, where your eyes can actually like shut down a little bit, like, because otherwise it's just like hyper.
Yeah,
like,
you're looking for an opportunity all the time.
You're open. You're just open to things. There's a different. It's a different feeling, a different aura of you when you actually like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know. It's a different thing that comes over you.
Yeah.
So,
that's such a crazy story.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
Thank you for sharing that crazy story with us.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so crazy. So Corey, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Corey Rods. You can find me on my website, CoreyRodrigues.com, Corey with an E, Rodriguez with an S. Twitter at Corey Rodrigues, Facebook at Corey Rodrigues. You find me at those places. Come out to a show. I think when will this drop?
Probably 2 weeks.
So in 2 weeks, just go hit my website up, CoreyRodrigues.com. Check the calendar, click it, see if I'm coming to your neighborhood, anywhere near you. And that's it. Other than that, I just put out a bunch of funny videos and I have a lot of fun. So make sure you catch a show live.
Yeah. All right. And guys, make sure you subscribe, like, follow Pinky Promise. We're Pinky Promise Pod on all social media. Leave us a review. We will love it. And we'd like to give a huge shout out to Los Angeles internet service this week.
City of Angels, baby.
Completely just cutting off the entire internet in Laura's entire neighborhood.
Just all my dreams, hopes, and internet. Thank you so much.
All right, Corey, thank you so much. And guys, make sure you follow Corey. Yeah, we're going to put all of his links in our show notes so you guys can check them out and you can follow Corey. He's hilarious. Once again, Pinky Promise Pod, follow us. Then you'll see more Corey. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.